Rock music. Rock, also called rock and roll or rock and roll, form of popular music that emerged in the 1950s. It is certainly arguable that by the end of the 20th century, rock was the world's dominant form of popular music. Originating in the United States in the 1950s, it spread to other English speaking countries and across Europe in the 60s. And by the 90s, its impact its impact was obviously globally, if in many different local voices. Rocks was obviously globally. Rock's commercially importance was by then reflected in the organization of the multinational re- recording industry, in the sales ranks of international record retailers, and in the playlist policies of music, radio, and television. If other kinds of music, classical, jazz, easy listening, country, folk, etc., are marked as minority interests, rock defines the musical mainstream. And so, over the last half of the 20th century, it became the most inclusive of the musical label. Everything can be rocked, and in consequence, the hardest to define. To answer the question, what is rock? One first has to understand where it came from and what made it possible. And to understand rock's cultural significance, one has to understand how it works socially as well as musically. What is rock? The difficulty of definition. Dictionary definitions of rock are problematic, not least because the term has different resonance in its British and American usage. The latter is broader and encompass. There is basic agreement that rock is a form of music with strong beat, but it is difficult to be much more explicit. The Collins Cobbold English Dictionary, based on a vast database of British usage, suggests that rock is kind of music with simple tones and a very strong beat that is played and sung, usually loudly, by a small group of people with electric guitars and drums. But there are so many expectations to this description that it is practically useless.